Hi, welcome to Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my fun little internet show about whitewater stuff, rafting, kayaking, supping, whatever. And this has been fun for me to do. Thank you for those of you that watch and have said some nice comments. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to do an episode today about a throw bag I've kind of fallen in love with. It's this Super Guide Gear throw bag. But first I want to just do a little bit of background on throw bags and my own obsession with throw bags. First of all, throw bags are something that are an important safety tool. They're probably the single most important safety tool, but they're also adding danger to the river. So there's something you should practice with and understand how to use before just willy-nilly throwing ropes in the river, because people have died from a throw bag in the river. So by trying to be safer, you can actually make things more dangerous. But it's kind of like, for a river guide or a kayaker, it's kind of the go-to tool for safety, and kind of the base tool for swiftwater rescue techniques. And historically, throw bags have been this, just like an uninspired bag that hangs by a loop, and you just unclick this thing, pull out the end, and you just throw away. And nobody really innovated throw bags for a long time. And the past few years, a few people have, and I even tried. I was pretty annoyed with these bags maybe like 8 or 9 years ago. So here's an example of a bag that I designed and had built here in Hood River, and I sold a handful of these. It was kind of a fun project, and I'm a big fan of. It has a little loop at the end. A little loop of rope came out. It clips onto a D-ring or something, so there's no loops hanging around to get stuck into. And I really wanted to make a big wide mouth here, so the rope came out easy, and it was easy to stuff. And that was hard to do, but I did the best I could. And I still use this bag, but I'm really sold on this Super Guide bag I'm going to talk about in a second. But this NRS bag to me is just a dangerous thing. We learned in rafting early on to not have straps and things around people can get entrapped in. And this piece of safety equipment has two. This one here that fits my arm and would probably fit my leg, and this one here as well. And this whole attachment at the end of throw bags to me is just awful. Like, this should be taken off the market immediately. Not only is it a hand entrapment, but also this plastic is holding water inside this rope, and it's making a mold. So this rope is getting weak, and the knot they use to put this all together isn't exactly a brilliant setup if you care about strength. So even if this rope might be strength, the efficiency of the way they tie this inside isn't all that great. So I'm going to call this terrible, and we'll move up from there. And so I've been using my bag for a while. It's been a really good bag. I wish there was rope in here to show you, but it's pretty straightforward. It does the job. I've been happy with it. And I was goofing around on the internet, I think Instagram or Facebook, and I saw these Super Guide throw bags. I saw a post about them. And a few things I love. I love like high quality things. I love enthusiasm. I love the name Super Guide. I'm way into it. And it just seemed like a good product. And I did a little bit of research, and I bought one. And I think they're like $100, $110 a piece, so they're not cheap for a throw bag. But I want to tell you about the things, after using it for about a month and a half, that I've really appreciated about it. And the first thing is, when you need to open up the bag, this system they have, this quick release system, comes undone really easy. And then it has this big wide mouth. This big wide mouth is great for throwing. There's nothing in the way. And it also, for restuffing it, having so much room to stuff the rope in is awesome. I chose a great rope size. I believe this is 5/16. A lot of you, especially kayakers, want like really thin spectral line. And it's really hard to pull on thin line. I like this diameter rope because you can actually get your hands on it and pull. Any thinner, even if it's stronger, you can't pull on it very hard. So I'm a big fan of this rope. It's easy to pull. He puts some sort of purple plastic thing around the end. I'm not sure if he did that or the rope manufacturer, but it protects the end. Plus, it's really easy to find the end. When you look down at a bunch of rope, you can see the purple thing right away. And this is an attention to detail that I just love. And most importantly, this bag follows the clean line principle, which is a really big new thing out there. There's no extra lines around it. It's just a nice clean thing. Nothing like the NRS thrower bag that is a potential hazard. And finally, when you throw this bag, if you throw it to somebody who's halfway intelligent, they'll notice there's a little pouch here. Now, not everybody will. Some people will miss this, and that is a worry of mine. You might throw this bag to somebody, and they won't know how to attach it to a boat or anything. But if anybody out there is like a little bit intelligent and can figure things out, they'll realize there's a pouch in here with room for a carabiner and a loop of rope. And this is a really safe way to do it. And you know, you have to provide your own carabiner, right? But this little loop here, you attach your beaner onto, then you can immediately attach it onto a raft. And a lot of times when I'm throwing a throw bag, I'm throwing it to get a raft unstuck. So if somebody catches on a raft, they have a carabiner, they can clip it on, I can pull it over. When you throw a bag like this old school NRS jobby, when the person on the boat catches the bag, they then have to figure out how to attach this loop to the raft. And a lot of times that means holding this in your teeth or with one hand and trying to find a carabiner or something that will attach it to the boat. Where this Super Guide bag is ready to go. And it's in this nice protective pouch. That way, you know, if you threw an old school throw bag with a carabiner at the end, that carabiner could hit them in the head or their hand or whatever. It's a nice safe place to put it. So I'm just a huge fan of so many aspects of this throw bag. The one thing about it that I think isn't 100% for me, and it may be for some of you, is the fact that it uses a waist harness. And so, you know, if you're a river guide on a difficult river, you know, like Cherry Creek or, you know, Clear Creek in Colorado, Gore Canyon, maybe the Kern, you know, the White Salmon near where I live, you might be using throw bags quite a bit. And you want to have them on you all the time. And that's the beautiful thing about a waist belt. This is the waist belt that comes with it. The throw bag, you know, is attached to it. So when you're guiding, you have a throw bag on your waist ready to throw. I'm personally not a big fan of waist belt throw bags. And I get it if you're out there being rad, using them a lot, and you like them, awesome. I personally don't like having something around my waist like that. I worry maybe that it'll get stuck on a branch or something if I swim. But I just don't like the way, I feel claustrophobic. And so, you know, when I use this throw bag, I immediately took the waist belt off, and I have been just carabinering it on with a locking key. There's these two loops. I've been just carabinering it on to my ducky or the raft, or if I'm in a hard shell, I'll just put it in the hard shell boat without a carabiner. And so, you know, if I was to make any suggestion on this throw bag, I would say maybe have one waist belt version for those of you that love your waist belts and love being rad all the time. But me, where I'm using a throw bag a lot less. I'm generally guiding like class 3 overnights. I'm kayaking. A lot of times when you're kayaking, you can go get a person. You don't have to throw a rope to them, or I can take a rope over to a boat. I don't have to throw a throw bag. We're not using them as much. And so I'd suggest some sort of second new product that doesn't depend on the waist bag, that has some sort of attachment to a boat. Maybe something, you know, like a clip on the outside. I can clip it onto a D-ring or a frame of a raft for multi-day trips like this. I don't know, but I'm still happy with it. And this is now my go-to bag, mainly because I like the colors. I like the big wide open mouth, and this choice of rope is brilliant. I just can't think of preferring any other throw bag out there right now. If you want to order one, if you're interested in checking out one of these bags, and the fabric they chose is just high quality fabric. It's a nice bag. You know, it's not, you don't just go to NRS and throw in your credit card number and get it. It's a little bit of a challenge. You have to go to the website, contact the guy who runs it. He sews it for you. You can't get it like 3 days later. You gotta wait a week or two. You know, but you can also choose your colors. You can come up with a custom color. He has some ideas, so he can make it pretty, all the prettiness you want. And you have to use Venmo. I don't think he's set up for credit cards yet, so you have to be like a millennial and have Venmo to actually send him the money. But maybe someday when he gets big enough, he can take credit cards. But it's worth the wait. It's a great product. And friends who this is your company, what you're doing, you know, my hat's off to you. Actually, this is your hat because it's a Super Guide hat. Your hat's off to you for making such a great product. And I love it. So thank you so much. So that's it for this episode of the Gear Garage. If you have any thoughts on throw bags, actually the biggest one would be, do you like waist belts, throw bags, or do you want to clip them in your raft? Do you have a preference? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Which one, if out there, people feel like you should always do one or the other, or just thoughts about that bag or questions, please leave a comment in the comments section below. I'd love answering comments. And that's it for this week. Thanks.